Woke up, everybody, and adjust your shorts. It is time for the news, or at least my version of the news, and you know how we get it. We Google it. Today is Tuesday, March 18th. I hope your headache's not too bad. Yesterday was St. Patty's Day. Which is a ridiculous holiday. Let's drink. What? Sounds good. Every day's a holiday. Well, let's jump right into it. As you know, the way that I do it, I Google the news, and then I report everything that I see from the ABC, NBC, CBC, CBS, LMNOP, all the sites, BBC, Guardian, and, the world is just... I'm reminded of a Bill Hicks bit from years ago where he's like, the news says... all this stuff is going wrong. I can't remember the exact quote that he would say, but he was like, depression, recession, war, death, famine, recession, war, death, famine. And he would like repeat it a couple times, and then he goes, and then I look outside and I'm just like, it's just nice. Which is true because we're in America. The land where we at least don't bomb the neighboring states. All right, so right up top, we've got Israel strikes Gaza, basically ending the ceasefire, which they just got in place. So Palestinians move back home. I guess Israel wanted to change the points of the peace deal after the fact. Hamas said no, and so Israel bombed Gaza and kills 400 people, mostly women and children, because that's what's left. Good God. And we back them. So, this is just kind of insane. I'm all for shaking things up, but I'm not so sure. I don't know. I'm just not so sure. I'm not so sure old Trumpo knows what the fuck is going on. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't know. I get breaking it up and shaking it up, but maybe he doesn't think there are like real consequences to the kind of support that he's offering. It says here, Israel strikes, kills more than 400 people. Palestinian health authorities say on Tuesday, ending weeks of relative calm after talks to secure a parliament ceasefire stalled. Accused each other, Israel and Palestine militant groups accused each other of breaching the truce. Well, it's gone now. So, cool. Let's see here. One thing I saw was, we will also want to fight Iran again. Don't go to war with Iran. What are we doing? We're just picking fights. Well, actually, I guess technically this time they picked a fight with us. The U.S. Houthis have been attacking shipping lanes, and I guess recently they attempted to attack the USS Harry Truman, which is an aircraft carrier in the region. And what Trump's administration is saying is that any attacks by the Houthis will be looked on as an attack by Iran because they, quote unquote, back the Houthis, the rebel group. So take that if you want. France says, well, not France, but some figurehead in France says, give us back the Statue of Liberty. And, he's getting some support on that. You're not doing what we want you to do, so give us back that statue that we gave you for helping us win World War I and World War II. The one that says, bring us your tired, your ragged, your broken people. Well, we're all full up on broken people. We've been making our own broken people for a hot minute now, so we don't need to bring in any other broken people. That's just crazy. One thing I saw, here's an NPR. What courts can do if a president ignores their rulings. It's so clear that the NPR group is doing whatever it can to try to tilt the public opinion away from support in any way that it can. So, whether or not I think that you should be supporting the current administration's agenda, it's just obvious to me when a news organization is trying to tilt the public instead of just reporting the dang old news. Like, this is the news, this is what happened. I mean, what happened to that? Like, just say what happened. Of course, I'm doing the exact opposite myself, so, hypocrite. Hey-o. Um, here's what I'm kind of wondering. Like, what did I see? Something about a judge that is. Oh, that's right. There's a judge blocking the deportation flights of the illegal aliens. Due to the whatever alien act that Trump is citing to be able to do this and send them to an El Salvadoran prison, which is, I mean, that's a great way to either make seriously hardened criminals out of these guys, or to keep them from wanting to be a part of these huge gangs, which are also responsible for killing and burning people. But what I want to know is, where were the judges who, because what he's doing is saying, oh, you can't just deport people in any way that you want. And I'm wondering, where was the judge when the previous administration opened up the borders? Where were the judges saying, hey, you can't do that? How come it's only just now when we're trying to go backwards on it? It's like, it does definitely seem to be heavily skewed in the favor of business as usual, the administrations, as opposed to trying to fix or change anything that we've been doing wrong. Okay, moving on. Biden administration criticized for emboldening Iran-backed Houthis as Trump ramps up military strikes. So we have been striking in the region, and somehow they're blaming Biden for the Houthis. Let's see here. I guess in 2021, the Biden administration announced that it was ending all U.S. offensive support for the Saudi-led coalition against the Houthis. Okay, well, there you go. That's why. So thereby strengthening the Houthi rebel group. Okay. Trump and Putin will hold a call on a ceasefire, but Zelensky is skeptical Russia is ready for peace. Yeah, because the most recent thing that Putin said was, lay down your arms and surrender, which is so funny because that this is what I've been wondering. What if they just did that? What if they just said, you know what? We surrender. We're going to join Russia. We're no longer Ukraine. I bet you the world would go nuts. I bet you they'd go absolutely nuts and be like, no, you can't do that all of a sudden. I wonder what we would do if that was the case. Anyway, Trump and Russia are going to, Trump and Putin are going to hold a call, I guess today, this is Tuesday, to discuss how, it says here, we'll discuss the war in Ukraine when they talk. But what I read earlier was they're planning on discussing how to chop up it's basically they're just trying to figure out who gets what out of this deal. How much does the U.S. get and how much does Russia get? And then I don't think the EU is really even a part of this, which is probably why France is like, give us back the statue we give you. We don't trust you anymore. Don't even. You can't have the statue. We take it back. That's a great. What do you like, my French? Oh, you like French? Missing student still missing. Parents want her declared dead. Now that's a crazy thing. I mean, it seems like she's dead. The boyfriend did it. I guess they were out swimming against a riptide. They got in. He said he swallowed a bunch of water. She also swallowed water. They got on the beach. He looked around, and then when he looked back, she was gone. Now, unless a rogue wave came and washed her away, but didn't wash him away somehow, I mean, seems pretty suspect. Definitely sus. At the very least, it's sus. Scientists at Antarctic Sanae 4 base rocked by alleged assault. What? Huh? In Antarctica? A group of scientists due to work together for months at a remote Antarctic research station has been rocked after a member of the team was accused of physical assault. Oh. So one of the scientists didn't like what the other scientists said. Okay, a team of 9 researchers were due to spend the Antarctic winter at the South African run base, which sits blah blah blah. Told there was an assault at the station following earlier allegations of inappropriate behavior from inside the camp. In a further message seen by the BBC, South African Environment Ministry said it was responding to the concerns with utmost urgency. Just tell the story. What happened? Subsequent statement, the process has been ongoing. Department said allegations of sexual harassment were also being investigated. Yeah, you put 9 people in the snow in the middle of nowhere, and they're all weirdos. Guess what? Some of them are going to be sociopaths. If you if you didn't listen to our other podcast, All of This is Temporary, which is on this page, there was a quiz by Megyn Kelly that was a how to tell if you are a sociopath. Now here's a riddle for you, okay? Just follow along if you're listening. Okay, here's the riddle. A man goes to a funeral. While at the funeral, he locks eyes with a woman for a moment. A week later, the woman's mother is dead. Why did the woman's mother's dead and the man murdered her? Why did he murder her? I'll give you a count to 5. So they they lock eyes at a funeral that they're both at. Then a week later, the woman's mother ends up dead. And the question is, why? And if you answer this in one particular way, it means you're a sociopath. My answer was, they had a plan because they locked eyes. They know each other. They had a plan to murder her mother, which is not the sociopath answer. The sociopath answer apparently is because he wanted to see her again. And he knows that if he murders the mother, well, he gets to see her again at the funeral, right? Ooh. So if you picked answer B, turn yourself in. Okay, winter storm coming, likely to produce blizzards in the plains. It is crazy. I cannot believe they shut down I-17 last Friday. For those of us who made it to Flagstaff, we'll say, and came back down later that day, it was still closed and there was absolutely no snow on the road. I have no idea why they closed it down. It should not have been closed. Trump said his administration is set to release the JFK files with no redactions. Now, this is interesting. President Trump says files related to the 1963 assassination of President JFK will be released Tuesday without any redactions, making good on a promise he made during his campaign. Now, that's a funny quote. Files will be released without redactions, but will he be releasing all of the files? Trump told reporters Monday that his administration will be releasing 80,000 files, though it is not clear how many of those are among the millions of pages of records that have already been made public. And also, how many other pages are there? You got 80,000. How many are there total? Are we getting them all? We have a tremendous amount of paper. We've got a lot of reading. You've got a lot of reading. Don't smile. What have I told you about smiling, Baron? Don't smile, Baron. Also said he doesn't believe anything will be redacted from the files. I said just don't redact. You can't redact. All right, so he's releasing some files, but we don't know what they are. I will look into those and tell you what I think tomorrow. Chinese state media hails Trump cuts to Voice of America. Oh, right. So something I saw earlier, too, is that the VOA, the Voice of America, is being completely gutted, essentially, which is the U.S.'s propaganda machine for the rest of the world. But what that does is it leaves a gaping hole for other superior nations to produce and display propaganda of their own. I mean, if you don't see that if you take away one propaganda machine, another one's going to step in. And I'll tell you what, propaganda is highly effective. I mean, it's essentially how we elect our presidents. It's all propaganda. They're lying on both sides. So if you're lying on both sides and somebody believes it, well, that's how the propaganda machine works. So, pick your poison, I guess, but that's what's going on. NASA to provide live coverage of Crew 9 return splashdown. Okay, that's fine. Something that I thought was interesting is on the Musk-Rogan, the latest interview, Musk said they were ready to send their rocket up to pick up those astronauts well in advance, but they were told to delay because of the election, which is insane. If that's true, and for political gain, we left these astronauts up there for way longer than they were supposed to be there. And if you know anything about spaceflight, well, if you don't, I'll let you know, it ruins your body. It decreases your bone density very quickly. You get edema, pooling of blood. I mean, gravity is what's holding this all together. Like when you stand up, your blood tries to go down, the heart pumps it back up. That's how circulation works. So if you don't have gravity, you have poor circulation. Your muscles begin to atrophy. So we basically left these people up there to suffer so that somebody could get some political edge and try to get their guy to win. And technically it was the Biden administration that made that decision. So what possibly could they have gained from that? I have no idea. Okay, DOD deploys destroyer to join a border security mission. Oh, shoot. In Mexico? U.S. Northern Command deployed the Arleigh Burke class guided missile... What? Class guided missile guided... What? Let's read this again. The Arleigh Burke class guided missile guided destroyer. What? Arleigh Burke class guided missile guided destroyer. I don't understand what that statement means, but it's at the top of this defense.gov statement. To assist with border security operations, the U.S. has gravely departed from Naval Weapons Station Yorktown, Virginia, for a scheduled deployment to the Gulf of America. That's also still very funny. Chief Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell told the media, "It's not only vital for the United States to have control of the border via land, it's equally important to control our territorial waters." Okay, well, that's crazy. Oh, this is fun, though. I watched a TikTok video yesterday of a decommissioned cruise liner parking between two other decommissioned cruise. I guess you get so many cruises from a ship, and then you just beach it. And what they did, they rammed it between these other, and it's just scraping stuff. I mean, these are, billions of dollars, I'm guessing, to build one of these, at least a few $100 million to build these gigantic cruise ships. And then they just decommission them by parking them, imagine you see a parking spot and the two cars are over the lanes and you've got a big truck and you just do it anyway. It's like that, but with a ship. Okay. Oh, Pope remains in stable condition with slight improvement. So I guess all those prayers are working. Pope Francis is in high flow oxygen therapy less frequently. The swelling in his hand, seen in the photo and published yesterday, has improved. Okay, Vatican News. So he's recovering. March Madness, blah, blah, blah. I don't really do sports. Texas midwife arrested and charged for performing illegal abortions. Yikes. Trump administration ignores judge's order to turn deportation planes around, sources said. And, well, okay, well, now we're getting into repeats. Pete and Repeat fell off a boat, so pull your briefs back down. That's been the news. I'm Ray. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.